Hey, welcome to All You Beyond the Barricade. I'm your host, PapaDenk, and I'm very excited today to have the great Mike Mondo on. We are powered by StreamYard, just so you know. And here we go. Mike, how you doing, bud?
Hey, PapaDenk, what's up, buddy? How are you, man?
What's going on? I know you're a busy guy, so we're going to get right to it, all right?
All right, man, no problem. Let's get into it.
All right, so how did you start to fall in love with wrestling? I assume you were a young kid when you started.
Oh yeah, man.
Follow.
It's all began for me when I was 4 years old. I remember being able to sitting in my dad's lap watching Hulk Hogan, back in the day, and it's something that I always knew I loved to do. In general, something I
All right.
always knew I wanted to do.
Mhm.
I just never knew when, but as just things go on in life, everything happens for a reason. The pro wrestling industry kind of fell in my lap a little bit, and I was like, "This is it. This is the time." So I went and went in there to achieve my dreams. So I started in the wrestling business when I was 18 years old at NYWC Pro Wrestling. And it all comes full circle now because 20 years later, here I am at NYWC Wrestling now as a trainer there. So, I love pro wrestling. I have a passion for the business, and I'm just excited to be a part of it.
All right, awesome. I mean, you just jumped into my next question, but tell me how you started training at NYWC and who has been your mentors
Yeah, I
at
started
NYWC.
again when I was 18. My mentors, like coming into the business, was my first trainer that
Mhm,
broke me in, named John Curse and Mike
mhm.
Mayhem. I kind of just followed their lead and just did the best I could every time I could get inside a professional wrestling ring. Some wrestlers that I grew up watching that I idolized was Bret the Hitman Hart, William Regal. I always enjoyed just the technical wrestling, mat wrestling aspect of the business, and just kind of grew from there. We can kind of go forward a little bit after that because 9 months later, I went to OVW, and that's where my mentors became like Rip Rogers, Jim
Uh-huh.
Cornette, Lance Storm, Al Snow. I have so many great trainers, and I'm so blessed and grateful for great training, in my opinion. So and that's could be another question that you have after that, but I'll
It,
stop there.
it will be. It's how did you get to WWE? I obviously you went to OVW, so tell me about your story from there and how Spirit Squad evolved from that.
Yeah, that's a loaded question, but I'll give you like the cliff notes of it.
Okay.
Pretty much I went down there with a tryout opportunity. It was a tryout camp that they were offering,
Mhm.
and I submitted my information, not really expecting anything back, but lo and behold, I did get the call back and got to go down there for a week tryout. I excelled. I did well apparently because I got a phone call 2 weeks later after that from Jim Cornette, offered me the opportunity to come down to OVW full time, move down there, and that's what I did. I packed my bags with pretty much nothing, and I played a little Russian roulette with my life, not knowing what to expect.
Right.
But I went down there. I got a job down there as a waiter, and just to compensate my professional wrestling habit. So I did TV every Wednesday, did the house shows there every weekend,
Mhm.
and then fast forward a couple years, I got signed at 21 years old to a developmental contract,
That's awesome.
which was a dream come true for me. So now I was getting paid to do what I love to do, and I can quit my other jobs and just focus primarily on professional wrestling.
Right.
And that's what happened, and then fast forward there a couple years, the Spirit Squad came about. It was right place, right time, right opportunity, and my skills then backed it up and spoke for itself. And I was able to snag a spot in the Spirit Squad, and that's how it became about. It was a Vince McMahon idea,
Uh-huh.
so I knew it was going to be a good idea, and he was going to push it to the top, and that's exactly what he did. We got in there, made our television debut, did a bunch of cheers for the first few weeks, and then made our in-ring debut against Shawn Michaels, and the rest is history from there. So that's kind of the cliff notes on how I got a job and how the Spirit Squad came about.
Awesome. How was your relationship with Vince?
Good. Yeah. I mean, it was always a professional relationship. I learned a lot from him from doing promos and pre-tapes with him.
Mhm.
Being able to work with him, I was able to spend more time around with him. So I was able to really embrace the opportunity and ask him a lot of questions and just questions I had about the business and how he did things and, what's the Vince McMahon way, kind of, so to speak. And,
Right.
I got to really pick his brain and learn a lot. So it's not like, we play grab ass with each other. Like we didn't have that personal relationship, but from a business aspect, it was definitely very
Mhm.
cordial and really cool.
What about the camaraderie between the whole Spirit Squad group?
Camaraderie, yeah. I mean, well,
Yes.
every one of us was together at one point at OVW, so it's not like we didn't know each other when we got in, on the road and stuff like that. We've
Right.
always had a relationship with each other, with Kenny, Dolph, um, uh, Johnny Jeter, and Mitch. Mitch was the only one that was kind of like the oddball a little bit because he was from deep south, so
Hmm.
we really didn't know him too well. But obviously, we got to know him as time went on. So,
Right.
yeah, we were always great friends, and we were great professionally in the ring together because we knew each other inside and out. So we had that chemistry.
Right. What about what has been your toughest match actually?
I'm sorry.
Your toughest match. And
My toughest match. Oh man,
it doesn't
from
have to
a
be
physical
WWE.
standpoint,
It doesn't
was
have
that
to be in WWE. It could be anywhere.
anywhere? Oh man, that's a good question. My toughest match, physically or mentally or overall?
You can say both.
Both.
Overall.
All right, I'll say this. You know what though? Probably I gotta say it was a practice match in class. I want to say it was the
Hmm.
first time I ever did an hour Broadway. It was the first time doing 60 minutes. Going 60 minutes is a long time, but
I bet.
not just to make it 60 minutes, but to
Right.
make the match good and entertaining and
Right.
be able to take people on an emotional roller coaster ride for 60 minutes. So I've did 17 of those matches in my career, but the first time I've ever did it was probably the toughest match I've ever did. And that match was against a good friend of mine named Mo Green. So if you listen to this, buddy, shout out to you. I love you. You taught me a lot. You're my guy. You're the man.
Awesome. What about your toughest opponent?
Toughest opponent? Hmm. Toughest opponent. That's probably got to go to. I want to say. I gotta say, you know what, Triple H probably. Triple H
Really?
is one of my toughest opponents. Yeah, man, he's the cerebral assassin. He's the game. He's the
Right.
boss.
Now he's the
So
boss. That's right.
you always want to make a good impression against the boss because he can come
Right.
back to that curtain and be like, nah, you know what, thumbs up, thumbs down, no good. And that's your lasting impression. So you always want to be on your toes when you step in the ring with Triple H and give him the best match possible.
We got a fan question. Was there anything pitched for you after the squad ended?
There was a couple ideas thrown around. The plan was for me and Dolph to be a tag team with
Mm,
Mitch as our manager, um, Johnny Jeter to be a babyface singles, Ken to go on his own as a heel, and that's everybody, right? Oh, and yes, that's everybody. Yeah,
yes,
that was the
yes.
plan. That was the idea. We had to create our own doors and own opportunity a little bit. I
Right.
remember me, Dolph, and Mitch. Now that we got that information, we waited in Vince's office for quite a while after a TV one day, and
Hmm.
finally he had the time to give us 5 minutes. We pitched an idea called the Frat Pack, which is
Uh-huh.
pretty much an extension from what we did previously with the Spirit Squad, just in a different way.
Right.
Vince liked the idea, gave us a handshake agreement saying, I like it, let's do this. I'm like, all right. So we left with our hopes high.
Hmm.
The following week, I remember I was about to fly out to TV with hopes of pitching this idea and this gimmick to him, thinking it was going to go down. Unfortunately, our travel got canceled. They didn't need us for that taping, so
Hmm.
we just didn't go. And wait, we figured we'd wait to the next week because we'll be back at TV the next week. And honestly, after that, that was it. We never went back to TV after that. So if I do have a regret in life, I do wish I would have bought my own plane ticket. And Dolph agrees with me when I say this, and that we kind of flew ourselves there.
Right.
Because but you can't tell the future, and who knows, maybe things would have been different, but that's okay. Everything happens for a reason, and I wouldn't change a thing, today. So
You still talk to the other members of the squad?
yeah, oh, yeah, I do. Johnny Jeter, a good friend of mine,
Hmm.
just did his podcast not too long ago. Dolph's one of my best friends. Keep in touch with him. I know he's very busy, so it's mostly a
Right.
text message relationship right now.
Right.
But we always have each other's back. Kenny, great, one of my best friends, if not kind of like a brother relationship. We
That's
tagged a
awesome.
lot post Spirit Squad.
Mm.
Very happy for him and what he's doing right now. Being involved in WWE again as a producer. Can't be more happy for the guy. Deserves it.
Awesome.
So smart, so smart. My favorite person to tag with was Kenny.
Mm.
Just a really brilliant guy. I always had the most confidence when I was in the ring with him, and I can't say enough good things about the guy.
All right. Serena says, "Well said, Mike." Exactly. We got
What's
a
that?
question for Serena said, "Well said, Mike." Exactly.
Nice.
That's
Serena, what
my.
up?
Ryan Dust has a question. I got a question. With the Spirit Squad being involved in the DX reunion, how did it feel to be part of a reunion with one of the most decorated teams in the Attitude Era?
Well, that's a really good question because was that like a show they did, a DX reunion recently, not long ago?
Yes, but I think they're talking about the one that happened before that one.
Oh, you mean when I was on the road and they got back together?
Yes.
Oh man, that was the honestly that was the loudest pop that I've ever heard in my life. I remember when I think the scenario was like Shawn Michaels came running down the aisle, and then Triple H, and then Shawn bumped us around, threw us out of the ring one by one. And then I remember being on the outside, and they did the whole high fives, in their
Right.
face or whatever. And a crowd came unglued, and that was probably the loudest reaction I've ever heard. You talk about when people say they throw around the word pop, a
Hmm.
lot in wrestling. Oh, that was a good pop. You guys don't understand. That was a wrestling pop when they got back together. That is blowing the roof off the place, and that was a pretty cool moment to be a part of.
That's awesome. Those some great stories, man. Awesome. Next question. What match would you like to have been in that you weren't in?
Oh, that's a good one. These are good questions, PapaDenk. I'm liking this. This
Hey,
is
man.
fun. It's
I'm
different.
trying. I'm
It's
trying.
different, man. It's different. I
I'm
like it.
trying over here.
What match that I wasn't a part of that I wish I could have been? Is that the
No,
question?
a match that you could say that, and a match that you wanted to be in but you haven't been in.
A match that I wanted to be in, but I wasn't.
Right. And one that you weren't in
Okay. Um.
that you wanted to be in.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I love to wrestle and I love to be a part of every match that we were in. But
Mhm,
unfortunately, we had five guys and not everybody could be in the match all the time. When we were in the Spirit Squad.
mhm,
So, but there was this one match I want to say it was, a match. You know what? It was Kenny versus John Cena.
mhm,
And I would have loved to have the opportunity to get in there and wrestle John Cena one on one. We wrestled him a couple times in handicap matches on house shows, and I think
mhm,
we did one on TV, but I would
mhm.
have loved to have had the opportunity to wrestle John one on one to get that experience. Unfortunately, my card wasn't called that day, so I was on the outside. And there was another match where Kenny got to wrestle Triple H on a whole loop of house shows, Friday,
Oh
Saturday,
wow.
and Sunday. It was him versus one. It was him versus Triple H one on one, and they went like 15 minutes. And we were just involved in the finish, because we got sledgehammers all around. But I would have loved to have worked Triple H one on one. That would have been a really cool experience, and I'm sure that Kenny got to learn a lot from that. So those two matches stick out to me.
All right. Serena's asking another question, which is kind of my question.
Okay,
What or who made you want to be a trainer and start your own classes at NYWC?
it's another good question.
Another good question.
It's funny, man. Being a trainer kind of always shadowed my career, meaning I didn't plan to be one, especially as early on as I was. It all began in OVW. People started coming in, and it was getting pretty crowded, and it just came to the point where we needed somebody else to kind of lead charge to kind of break up the people a little bit, because it's not enough guys were getting reps and stuff. So Danny Davis proposed me the idea of being a trainer as
Hmm.
well as a talent, early on in my career. I want to say this happened a couple years after I got into OVW.
Hmm.
So I said sure, but at the time I had no idea how to do it or how to run things. I just kind of emulated everything my trainers kind of did prior to me and kind of give back going forward, from there. So I
Right.
was put in a position to run the OVW amateur class in OVW. That's where it started. And then I became an assistant with the developmental class with Lance Storm.
Hmm.
I kind of helped out from there. And then from there, after that, I was an assistant to Dr. Tom Pritchard at FCW
Right.
in Florida. And then after that, long story short, I became a trainer here at NYWC. So I love being a trainer. It's a chance for me to give back all the knowledge and experience that I had prior in my career. I think it's important to give back to the business to keep it going forward,
Hmm.
and I love it. I enjoy it. And it's great to be a trainer as well as a talent. I like it's the best of both worlds.
That's awesome. I know I want to go to a different question, but now that you talked about training, tell me about some of your students you have that you say, "Hey, this kid or this female's got it."
Yeah, I was talking with a friend of mine the other day. There's I got a great group of students, by the way, really eager to learn, hungry. They have good attitudes. They're coachable. You
Right.
know, I've only been involved in the mix now for 6 weeks, so I'm still kind of new and getting to know them. And as a trainer, I try to create a relationship with each student. I want
Mm,
them to feel comfortable being able to come to me. To ask questions, or if they don't understand anything,
mm,
and vice versa. I need to know from them, how they're doing, how they're feeling. Are they
right.
hurt? Are they not hurt? I can't because I know that some guys can get overzealous and want to get in the ring anyway when they're if
When
they're
they're
but
injured.
they're sore. And I was one of those people too. I was like, well, I don't
Right.
want to tell, but I want them to tell me. Because I can always help them be their best person that they can be if I know what's going on and stuff. But oh yeah, man, Tommy Rant. We were talking about him a little bit.
That's
Great
right.
guy, eager to learn, hungry, asks a lot of questions. I think he's got a good future ahead of him. You know, um, yeah, I don't want to single anybody out, but I'll just say as a group, they're really good. They work very hard, and I feel like that
Mm,
they're learning something new every day. So I think, and that's what I tell them. Just one thing a day. If you can just pick up one thing a day, after
right.
30 days, those things will accumulate, and you'll know like a lot more than what you think. So
Right.
that's it. It's just being patient and working hard.
Awesome. I mean, your name carries weight in this business because someone who was training under you gave his resume to someone from New Japan, and at first they looked at the resume like, and then they said, "Wait, Mike Mondo trains you? I think I'm gonna keep this one." So your name is pretty, in the business. It's very respected.
Thank you,
Just
man.
want to throw that
It-
out you.
It's weird, man. Like you're yourself, so you don't really like know. You know what I mean? But when you get guys from like outside, like, you know what I mean? They validate that, and it's like, all right, cool, man. Maybe I hold more weight than I thought. I don't know. I'm just being me. I
Right,
just
right.
take things one day at a time.
I hear you. I do the same thing. One day at a time, right?
I appreciate that. That means a lot. Thank you.
No problem. I know you're busy and you're gonna have to go soon, but I want to ask you this next question. Ribbing is a part of the business.
What's that?
Ribbing.
Oh, ribbing.
Yes. For
Oh
those
man,
that
ribbing.
don't
Yeah,
know,
it's there.
ribbing ribbing is when you guys play jokes on one another.
Yep, yep.
So tell me about a rib that was done to you and one that you did to someone else.
Oh, that's good. Okay. A rib that was done to me. Okay. Oh, this is a good story. Yeah, you might appreciate this one, Papa Denk.
All right, all
So,
right.
this was when I just got signed by WWE. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So keep that noted that I was gonna get told that you're hired, and a dream has finally come true. But
Right.
Danny Davis, the owner of OVW,
Uh,
he we have like a father son relationship, and he loved to push my buttons and mess with me, and
uh-huh.
just he got his rocks off, a couple times, just playing some ribs, but it was all fun, out of fun, of course.
Right,
But
right.
one time he sent me home to go. Did you bring? I forgot what it was, but anyway, I had to go home and get it. So I went home, I got it, and in the meantime, he was planning this rib with other 5 or 6 other people. I remember
Right.
Danny Inferno being in Danny's office. Al Snow was there, or Lance Storm was there,
Uh-huh.
and it was like Mike Taylor was in there, and because we all got hired on the same day. So I come back and I get from one of the referees comes up to me and he's like, Mike, you got to go to Danny's office, man. I don't know what's going on, but he is pissed. And
Right.
I'm like, fuck, you know, what did I wasn't having the best day that day. So I was
Right.
just like, this is just freaking icing. On the cake to my day. What did I do now? So I go
Right.
into the office and he cuts this promo on me. You stupid mother effer. What could you think of doing something like this? You understand that my name is on the line. It's my reputation. I thought you were smarter than this, and just pretty much just belittling me. And I'm just standing there like with my hands open, like, what did I do? You're like, what are you
Right.
talking about? And he's, well, let me be the first to congratulate you that you got a WWE contract, and now you're a part of the system. I'm proud of you, kid. You deserved it. I love you. And I'm like, holy fuck. And like, I just dropped. I was just like, oh
Right.
my God, and so pretty much think about how I felt like being all the way down. And now
Right.
all of a sudden, the highest I can be
Now you're
within
like
the
up
span
here,
of 2
that's right.
seconds. So I was like, wow, that was like, okay, good rib, guys. I'll never forget that for the rest of my life. Thank you very much. You know,
Absolutely. What about one
and
you performed?
one of the ribs that oh yeah, okay. Well, now I will say this wasn't my idea, but with being part of a faction,
Uh-huh.
and especially the Spirit Squad, when you do something, if somebody does something, you kind of reciprocate the benefits or the heat, despite whatever it is, because you're a group. So it's they say if your partner gets heat, well, you got heat. I mean, that's just kind of how it goes. So one time we were at a house show, we were wrestling Big Show and Kane, and two members of the Spirit Squad thought it would be a good idea to trap the Big Show in a noose with the microphone cord on his
Uh-huh.
entrance. So we make our entrance. These two individuals are, and I'm thinking on the outside, I'm watching what's going on. What are they doing? Like this is something that's not good. Like I know this is
Right.
going to get us in trouble. But I see them making a noose around the whole ring with the microphone cord. And
Uh-huh.
Kane comes out, makes his entrance because they had separate entrances. And Kane
Right.
starts laughing, like in breaking character. And I'm just
Uh-huh.
like, and he's like, you guys are freaking dead. And I'm like, oh no, they're doing something to the Big Show. This is not good. This is not cool. And the Big
Right.
Show makes his entrance, comes into the ring, comes to the center of the ring, and I see these two guys, Spirit Squad guys, pull the
Uh-huh.
cord, and the noose actually traps the Big Show, and it worked. Like they actually caught him. Big Show
Uh-huh.
now sees what's going on, looks down, kicks the microphone cord on to free himself, and then
Oh
takes
man.
because they put a Subway sandwich in the middle of the ring to bait him to kind of make him go that route so they can trap him. You know what I mean? Takes the
Right.
Subway sandwich, throws it in Mitch's face, goes, "I'm gonna freaking kill you," whatever like that.
Oh man.
So anyway, long and behold, it was a very intense physical match that night. If you're
Uh,
gonna do something like that, do it after the match.
that's
Just so
right.
we don't get our asses kicked. Anyway, it was stupid to do. Number one, we just got there. Who are we to do something like that? You know what I mean?
Right.
And doing something like that to a veteran, not the smartest thing. Don't do anything like that, people,
Don't
if you're
do
listening. But
it.
anyway, that was a rib that we were part of, and definitely got heat and got our asses kicked for it.
Oh boy. I got a
So
question for you from Robbie Rebel. Hey, Denk and Mike. Question for Mike. What's the best way to handle politics in the back, especially when it comes to promoters putting over friends?
man, okay. Yeah, that's the thing about pro wrestling is that it's a work, and you can control the outcome, and people, if you run the show, you can do whatever the hell you want. It's your show, and you can only control what you can control, and you can't stress out, and because you'll drive yourself nuts. I'm telling you that.
Right.
You'll make yourself crazy. But what you can do is you can give it your best effort for whatever it is that you're handed to that night, and
Mm,
kind of do what you got to do to get yourself over, and have the best match or promo, that whatever it is that you're slated to do. And
right.
hopefully the promoter recognizes that, and he sees, oh wow, well, because if I was running a show and I notice a guy, hey, this guy's getting over, I'm going to probably want to use him in a more proficient way, but you can't, first of all, look at the promotion first. Is it just like just a promotion, or do they have TV? Like if it's just an independent, and so don't sweat it.
Right.
You're just burning yourself out for no reason. Just kind of go with the flow, and remember that pro wrestling is supposed to be fun, and that you're doing it because you love to do it, and just do it for those reasons, and don't really worry about stuff that you can't control. That's kind of petty stuff.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Robbie's a professional wrestler out here.
Yeah.
He heard about your rib. Robbie.
It's pretty popular out there. Yeah.
Robbie's got his own stories. Let me
I
tell
hope
you. All
Big Show's
right.
not listening, because yeah, Big Show, if I can, he'll definitely find a way to kill me. I had nothing to do with the Big Show, I promise.
All right. What's next for Mike Mondo? I know we didn't have that much time. You have stuff going on with training and stuff. So
Yeah, I
what's
got
next for
five
you?
minutes. I got 5 minutes, man. We're cool. What's next for Mike Mondo? Well, to continue coaching and training here at the NYWC Wrestling Academy in Deer Park. I do that. I'll be doing that. My first match back is February at the Psycho Circus here at NYWC. I had to take a little
Oh,
bit over a year off because
that's a
what's
that's a
that?
big show, Mike.
That's a
Psycho
huge show.
Circus is a big show. Yeah,
That's the
I'm
biggest one we got all year.
I'm
You know,
coming to it. I'm gonna come there. I'm gonna
you
buy
gonna
my
come?
ticket and I'm gonna head down there.
All right, man. We gotta meet personally then. So
Absolutely, absolutely.
yeah.
But go ahead.
Um, so I'm coming back there. Had a little health scare, but I'm okay now. I got cleared by the doctors,
Hmm.
so I'm good to go. Unfortunately, I had to take a year off, but I'm back now. That's my first match back, and then I'm going to Italy in March. I got a couple independents in February as well.
Hmm.
Um, I have an autograph signing in May, so I'm trying to get booked again going forward. So if you're a promoter out there listening and you want to book me on your show from February on, you can
Right.
email me at themikemondo@gmail.com or hit me up on Twitter, the
Mhm.
Mike Mondo. DM me. It's the best way to get in touch with me. I will get back to you because I'm good like that. And I also run match reviews for anyone out there. $20, low cost of $20, very small investment to
Mhm.
get the return much greater. I will dissect your match from A to Z. I will pick it and nitpick it to the bone. I'll give you the
Mhm.
pros, the cons, and we'll do that together as we'll have a FaceTime call. So I'm able to answer any questions that you may have along the way. I'll spend as much time as I need to make sure that you fully understand everything I say and what's going on. And yeah, so for $20, you can do that. Again, email me, the Mike Mondo, or hit me up on Twitter, Facebook, and let's schedule an appointment to get you going.
That's great. I haven't heard anybody do that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'd like to think it's different. And you need a trained eye. You need someone experienced, so like a veteran in the business to, you only get better with people that are better than you. So
Right.
you need to have that experience and that knowledge to be able to pass it down and to, definitely break things down and be better.
Awesome. Mike, let me tell you, it's been a pleasure sitting down and chatting with you for this 30 minutes that you gave me. Very much appreciated. Thank you very much. Hope to see you at Psycho Circus. Well, I'll be there, so I'll come say hello.
Cool. Hey, man, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. I wish I got to spend more time, but I think we covered a lot of ground this show, and
We
we'll
did.
do it again sometime. What do you think?
I'm all ears. This time we'll bring Alvin on.
Let's do that.
Let's
Let's
do that.
let's have a little three-way freaking podcast action.
Let's set it up. 2023.
What's that?
2023. We'll set it up.
I love it. I love it, man. Let's do it.
Thank you very much, Mike.
All
Everybody,
right,
please
man.
go follow Mike. Support Mike. Match videos. That's amazing. I never heard of that. Please go support Mike. Mike's a great guy. Very well respected. Thank you, Mike. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, PapaDenk. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks, bro.